Welcome to another episode of Tile Talk. My name's Lynley Bravo. I'm with Palmer Todd, and today we're going to be talking about, to some of you, probably a very exciting subject matter, the difference between nominal versus actual dimensions. So one of our vendors, Stone Impressions, sent out a blog today that was talking about the differences between nominal versus actual dimensions, and I thought it was a really good subject matter for some people who might be in this arena to understand what that exactly means. So if anyone is working on a home improvement project of any kind, you've heard that term being thrown around when it comes to lumber. And in this case, we're going to talk about it with tile. So what is a nominal dimension? The Tile Council of North America defines it as the exact or the referenced measurement of a tile face or thickness. So different manufacturers are all over the globe. You know, some are of course here in the US, some are overseas. We use, imperial measurements, others use metric. And there's different machinery, different processes, different factories, different blades. So anytime you're cutting a piece of tile, you may not have an exact measurement from one vendor to another. So for instance, these three tiles here are all considered 12 by 24. But their actual dimensions vary. It may not seem very significant, but they do vary quite a bit from one to another. So if you can see, I'm gonna try my best, but if you can take a look, you can see that this one tile here is much wider than this one, which is also wider than this one. Normally, that wouldn't really matter if you were doing an entire floor in one particular type of material. You would just account for a little bit more overage to make sure that when you're laying it out, you're going to accommodate for those differences. Because if it's 1/8 difference, if it's more than that, when it's in a small span, it's probably not going to be even noticeable. But when you do it over the entire course of the first floor of a home, those dimensions are going to add up. So we always recommend that you order anywhere from 10 to 20%, depending on the material, overage to accommodate for those differences in sizes. Another time where it might come into play is if you're doing patterns or you're continuing material from one wall to another. So let's just say you're going to do one entire accent wall in this material, and then right next to it, L-shaped off of it, whatever, is going to be this material. If you're trying to line up grout joints, it's not going to work. You're going to have one wall versus another that will not be able to line up. So either you're going to have to pick manufacturers that have the same nominal dimensions from one product to another, or you're going to have to offset where you start and finish those lines so that if you're doing a straight grout line across, you're not running into any issues that would lead your eye away from what's actually happening. Another situation where it might impact is with natural stone. This is a perfect 12 by 12 piece of material. So let's just say you're going to do a basket weave pattern or some type of tile pattern where you're going to be mixing different stones from different vendors perhaps. You have this one 12 by 12 piece, but you can see from these two pieces right next to it that when a 12 by 12 piece is cut, the blade takes away a certain thickness of that material. So you're not left with two perfect 6 by 12 pieces anymore. If you have a grout joint that's a little bit wider, it can absolutely handle the difference there. But if you're doing super tight grout joints and a very intricate pattern, those differences can absolutely make or break a job. So just something to keep yourself aware of and keep in mind whenever you're shopping for different products. Make sure that if that's something that might be a concern, that you talk to your salesperson about how to compensate or offset that. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode and that it maybe meant something to you. Appreciate your time, and we hope to see you soon.